something that was right, and we did it for that reason. The second thing is that it really shows what good representation, having good champions for a cause can do. And the folks behind me really push this. We were talking before this meeting, and I'm relatively new to politics. This is what, a year and 4 months now. And when I first got here, what I saw was an engaged group of parents, of citizens who were doing nothing more and nothing less than looking out for the well-being of their loved ones. That's all they were doing, trying to do what was right. And that was so impressive. I mean, I ran in support of this when I ran for governor, but it was so nice to come and see people like the ones right behind me talking so eloquently and passionately about something for no other reason than it's going to make the lives of people they love better. And I was talking to the senator, talking to representatives. I think that's what motivated all of us to really get involved with this and support it.
Thank you.
And the final thing is, this is really something that does help our Pennsylvania. That you are going to have access to treatment that we couldn't give you access to before. This is just a matter of your ability to do what you and your doctor think is right, and that's a good thing for Pennsylvania. And I said yesterday, this touches so many people. Just talking, hearing the stories earlier before we came out here. But there's a construction worker came up to me on I think Thursday morning. The bill passed Wednesday evening. He came up to me Thursday morning and he said he had a friend who has MS, and the friend is in the stage now where he's confined to a wheelchair. And he and his doctor have been struggling with the array of treatments that he could get. And he said he knew that the construction worker was going to be seeing me that day. He said he wanted me to pass something on. He said, pass on to everybody in Harrisburg who has anything to do with this. Thank you. That's what he said. What you did made my life better. What you did gave me options that I didn't have before. And what you did is going to make my future maybe brighter than it would be without this bill. That's when doing what I'm doing, and I think you had that moment many times, you had that moment many times. That's when doing what we did in this bill made perfect sense. So I'm really proud to be with you, and I want to thank Senator Fulmer. That was another reason that made this such an easy lift for me, to have someone like Mike Fulmer championing this and sort of example. I live in York County, as you know, Mike Fulmer is my senator. So there's a little bit of York County. I appreciate that. So thank you very much, and let me introduce my state senator, Mike Fulmer.
This is a great honor, but I have to tell you, this has been an educational journey for Mike Fulmer, and actually that educational journey started right here in this municipal building down in the district office with Lolly and Dana, and they came to me to see if I would help write a new piece of legislation with Senator Leach and do a co-prime sponsorship on trying to get this message out, and they left me a litany of information which I took and read and realized that this is the right thing to do. So moving forward, I have to tell you that these folks, what I would call the mama bears and mountain campaign for compassion, were the best lobbyists I've ever seen in my entire life. This was not about big money. There was no big lobbying firm behind this. These were everyday folks fighting for their right to have safe access to an alternative medication to allow them to have one more arrow in their quiver as they do battle with their disease. That's all they were asking for that fight. And we got it to this point. I'm going to thank, again, and I thanked yesterday, but there's two people here, small business people here in Lebanon County, who donated their alpaca stand, display stand at the farm show last year so that we could have an educational moment, which we literally handed out over 4,000 of these pieces of literature. And it was all because of Denny Ballback and Monica Klein and their farm who so graciously paid for the rent for that stand, because after all, we were amateur lobbyists, right? We didn't have big money yet, am I right? We were doing everything by the fly. Exactly. Exactly, and we were doing everything by the bootstraps and by the shoestring, but you know what? That's, I think, what our founders intended, lobbying to be. Everyday folks fighting for their rights. And the other thing is that, you know, I always carry this with me everywhere I go, but it opens up, it's the Constitution, opens up with three important words. We the people. We the people were heard, and we the people won on this issue. And there were so many things. It was like all the synergism all together, the great lobbying. I mean, Campaign for Compassion were like unbelievable. I mean, they were just so great, and it made it easier for me to work it on the inside and talking with my legislators. But finally, I want to say this, and I forgot this person yesterday, and shame on me, and I'm going to apologize now. And that is my wife, Sheila, who has went through a lot, especially the last 2 weeks. It was very tense. There was a lot of love as we were trying to get this thing across the finish line. And I wasn't the happiest person to be around those 2 weeks. And I just want to say, Sheila's at work right now. She doesn't know I'm doing this. But my wife, Sheila, has been, she was awesome. And I just want to thank her publicly because, and my whole family, because Paul wasn't, I have 7 grandkids, and Paul wasn't the most fun guy the last couple of weeks, but we made it. Woo! And again, this was synergistic. This was total teamwork. This was everybody. What I believe a bill ought to be. Getting people, getting discussion, having the negatives and the pros, and working it out and going forward. And none of this could have happened. I have to say to the next person I'm introducing here, Russ over in the house, Russ and I, Representative Diamond, in the house, kept me informed on things that were going on and helped so much. And so I'm going to just turn it over to Russ, and it's your turn, dude.
There's a lot of good takeaways from the culmination of this effort. I think I want to reiterate what the governor said, what Senator Leach said at the Capitol, what Mike Fulmer has said many times. I turn around and I look at these folks behind me. I don't see a single Republican or Democrat in the bunch. Their symptoms are indiscriminate. The serious medical conditions they have are wanton. They don't care what political affiliation they affect. And this is really, everybody calls it bipartisan. I totally call this a non-partisan victory. It really is non-partisan. We work across the aisle, we work across the Capitol, we work between one branch of government and the other. I think that's very important to take away. And you know, going forward, I'm hoping there's going to be more opportunities to do this because we disagree a lot. But
he and I disagree a lot.
There are a lot of things that we have disagreements on in Harrisburg, but when it comes to helping the sheer volume of Pennsylvanians that we helped with Senate Bill 3, it's amazing. I mean, just the autism amendment that I had put on to include autism, that's 188,325 people in Pennsylvania. Medical condition. I really think we can get upwards of 1 million people that we may be able to. That's an incredible victory. We do have more things that we can do like this. For instance, the industrial hemp bill, which is my bill, it's over in the Senate now, in Senator. We need to get that out of the Senate, and the governor has already said he would sign it. So that's another topic that we can work together on. And again, Governor, I'm willing to work with you anytime on things that we can set aside our differences and focus on our similarities. Okay? All right. Good. I don't think anybody has talked about this in this whole battle. To me, this is actually a 10th Amendment battle.
Yes.
When the federal government, through its inaction or action, either way, it has a policy in place that really is not in the best interest of Pennsylvanians or the residents of any other state. I believe it's the duty of that state's elected officials to move forward with or without the federal government. And I think it's important to note here too that I believe that now, with Pennsylvania being the 24th state, more than 50% of the landmass of the United States and more than 51% of the population of the United States now have access to medical cannabis. It's time for the federal government to move forward, get this off Schedule 1, and just make it all across America. So going forward from that, I hope that if we don't know what the next administration in Washington is going to do, how they're going to treat this, so I'm willing to work with Senator Fulmer, I'm willing to work with you, Governor Wolf, on how we can protect the interests we just built for Pennsylvania. So God bless you all. This is really your victory. I was happy to go to bat for you. God bless you, Senator Fulmer. You stuck your neck out in a place where no other conservative would. And God bless you.
Anybody want to say anything?
I was not prepared to make any remarks. I'm Christine Moran, one of the moms from the Campaign for Compassion, and I'm caught completely off guard here. But I really want to thank the governor, who has not been an idle supporter. He has been an active supporter from day one. He said he would sign this without question, but he didn't just stand by it and say, I'll sign it whenever it gets to me. He helped move the mountains to pave the way for us to get to a successful finish line. And this group of moms, I'm honored. I have no idea why I'm here. Because they're, Dana and Molly here, and Nicole and Beth and Julia.
Julie.
Julie, where's Julie? Oh, yes, and Julie and her wonderful daughter, Cindy. It is just a unique group of women, and we came together, and Luke, I don't know where Luke is there, and Les and Dan. This was such a team effort, and it was not only just our group, but Senator Leach and Senator Fulmer and Representative Glenn. We all came up to the plate, and it was a phenomenal effort, grassroots, like none other. So thank you, Governor.
Okay, let's see some questions. I'm happy to take questions.
Governor, what's next? What's the next step? I mean, people want to know now that it's, in 30 days we can level. What are some of the things that starts to be happening?
As I said yesterday, members of the Department of Health who have the responsibility for pushing this forward were actually there to sign it. They got to work immediately, and the goal is to make this happen as quickly as possible, 30 days. There are the institutions higher education, doing research. We have to make sure that we get all these regulations placed on the board. Has to be constituted. The Department of Health is working on making sure this gets launched as quickly as possible. We're also asking actually prosecutors around the state to be cognizant of the fact that this bill is now legal and say that if people are using medical marijuana, make their lives better. Great.
And we're going to, the good news about this is that we're not the first state. And so there's a lot of good resources out there to help with the department as we're going to be getting the regs ready to go and get signed up. We're going to have to walk before we run. This isn't going to be instantaneous, but the good news is we have a workable program now. We have a governor that's going to take the lead on implementing and getting these regs set up, and no pun intended, we'll put him on with the right resources. And we're going to make sure this gets done right. I have a strong vested interest in this. This is about these people here and all the patients here in Pennsylvania. When we had the farm show, we had, like I said, we literally had over 4,000. Matter of fact, the first weekend we were out.
Yeah.
We had like 2,700 of them, and that Sunday night, we were out. And that's how many folks visited the stand. Many thousands of folks who were self-medicating illegally not because they were trying to get a high, but because they wanted to feel community.